fly healthy.
Corey is looking for a second date update with a lady named Deirdre. Hi, Corey. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing really well. How are you?
Doing good.
Great. Thank you. Good to have you on. How can we help?
Well, I had met her on Hinge originally, and I thought, that we made a pretty good connection, but, I feel that all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we met up for drinks, and surprisingly, we ended up talking for over an hour. And usually my kind of first meetup, the just drinks phase usually goes like 30 to 40 minutes, if that. I kind of like to design it so that, it'll be a pretty simple meetup the first time so that if it's not going super well, then, I can kind of bail pretty early
Easy
on.
to get out.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And in this case, it kind of backfired because, I actually wanted to spend more time with her. But of course, I'd already told her that, I couldn't stay very long. So I think she had gone and made plans already. That's what she said. And it didn't seem like she was lying or anything because we just seemed to have a really good time, when you can kind of just tell.
So you didn't feel like you were being blown off. It felt like she legit would have liked to have stayed if she didn't have this other thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard the blow up thing, and I've done that plenty of times too. So you can.
I've heard it enough times to know.
You know all the tricks from both sides.
I'm a bit of an expert on Hinge. Yeah, I'd say that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that got me to thinking, is that what's happening here? But it really felt like there was chemistry, like she seemed super into me and was like smiling and laughing the whole time, right? Like that's always a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't think of anything I did wrong. I was super complimentary. I asked her a lot of questions, kind of shared a lot about myself, and I wasn't shy or closed off. I was kind of building confidence during the whole thing, and I was pretty straight up and honest. I told her exactly what I was looking for and that, she had it all.
Mm-hmm.
So she seemed pleasantly surprised by that too. So
she seemed pleasantly surprised to hear you say that you thought she has everything you're looking for.
Yeah, we were just honest about other dates that we had been on, and we were pretty upfront with each other about what we had seen out there and what we didn't like and what we needed kind of in a relationship. And so it felt like we were both kind of validating each other and making a stronger connection.
Great.
So when I left, I kissed her hand. I told her how awesome it was to meet her, that I would call her later. And she said, cool. She seemed kind of excited by it. But I called her, didn't get an answer. Called a couple times and texted and just crickets. So, I was hoping you guys could give me some insight here.
All right.
The hand kissing move is kind of smooth.
How did she react to the hand kissing thing? Because it's not very often a man will take a woman's hand and kiss it.
Oh, well, it was a little hard to tell because, I could tell she was caught off guard by it. I think she was, thinking I was going to try to kiss her. And, I don't want to do that. I don't like putting people in that, kind of pressured situation.
Uh-huh.
So it felt pretty smooth in the moment. But, and she, didn't react weirdly or anything like that. After that, I asked her to call her, and she seemed interested.
Has a date ever kissed your hand, Jen?
Oh, of course.
And what was your reaction to that? Did you think that was gallant, respectful?
It was never. They never did it in a creep. It's never been done in a creepy way. I can't remember any guy ever kissing my hand and it being creepy. It was always kind of funny or silly or.
Because some women are really.
It wasn't
wow,
it wasn't like he, kissed it and then started sucking on my fingers or anything weird like that.
No, but I meant from more of a chivalrous attempt to make you feel treasured kind of thing, respected.
I don't recall feeling treasured or respected.
Oh. Silly me. All right, well. Okay, I think we got a pretty good recap here, Corey. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a break here. And when we come back, we will call Deirdre because she said cool. You said, can I call you later? She said cool.
Yep.
Hopefully we'll talk to her next. A second date update continues on Cincinnati's Q102. All right, so Corey met Deirdre on Hinge. They went out for drinks, and Corey is kind of an expert bailer, as I like to call them. Someone who sort of sets the appointment short, like, hey, I can't stay long, and tries to have it wrapped up in 30 or 40 minutes in case there's just no chemistry there or he's not attracted to them. Am I characterizing this correctly, Corey?
Yeah. You got to protect yourself. You don't know what you're going to see. I feel like anybody that's done this a while ends up doing the same thing.
Sure. I think a lot of people do that as well. And with Deirdre, he discovered that he had great chemistry with her. And at the end of the day, he kissed her on the hand. Which she didn't grimace or bristle at that, did she?
No.
Corey said, "I'll call you later." She said, "Cool."
And then nada.
No response from her. Yeah. I don't know. Corey sounds nice enough to me. Unless you think the kissing of the hand thing was weird.
I mean, you didn't like suck on her fingers or lick her palm or, rub up against it and purr or anything weird, right?
No wetness to the hand kiss.
You didn't bite.
No
nipples.
teeth.
Didn't smell it.
I mean, I got a whiff, but I mean, that wasn't on purpose.
You weren't
I mean, it's just,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. None of that going on.
no.
Well, then let's call her.
Hello?
Hello, is this Deidre?
Yes.
Do you pronounce it Deidre or Deirdre? It's spelled
Deidre.
Deidre.
Yeah.
Got it. Deidre, it's Jeff and Jenn at Q102 Radio. How are you this morning?
No freaking way. Are you serious?
It's us.
Hello.
Okay. Hi. This is incredible. How are you?
Did you say incredible? Are you a fan?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Well, that hopefully will make it easy for you because your friend Corey reached out.
Who?
That's not a good sign.
Not at all. Maybe we've got a bad connection and she just couldn't hear you.
Yeah, a guy named Corey called us, said he went on a date with you, said he met you on Hinge, and that you were lovely and was hoping to see you again, but evidently has reached out a couple times and you haven't responded. Did you get busy or are you intentionally blowing him off? What's going on with that?
I feel bad. Yeah.
You're probably dating a few people, I imagine, right?
I go on a date or 3 every week.
Wow. See, now we read a study that pre-pandemic, the average single person was going on an average of 4 dates a month, and that's dropped about a third since after the pandemic. So you're going on like 3 or 4 dates a week.
Yeah, that's more than most are doing in a month.
See, I'm telling you, though, that's the average. There are people that are doing a bleep ton, and then there are people that are hunkered in their basement.
Right.
Do you think 3 dates a week is a lot, Deirdre?
1 to 3, it can be, but when you have...
You got this going on.
7 days in a week. That's not even half.
When you consider breakfast date, coffee date, lunch date.
yeah.
I don't mean to
cocktails.
brag, but
hey.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you forgot about him altogether. Is that why you forgot to call him back?
Okay, I'll tell you what happened, and I want y'all to let me know if it's weird.
Okay.
So if I remember correctly, he was about 15 minutes late to the date. So already...
You're
my
annoyed.
time is being wasted. Yeah. Who likes that?
Yeah, you got a lot of dates to go on. You don't have time to wait
Well,
around.
it feels disrespectful,
Late
too.
comers.
Exactly. So he sits down and he immediately starts asking me about all the bad dates that I've had with men that I've met online,
Okay.
which is a weird first conversation ever. So I'm telling him that I've had a couple of weird dates, whatever, but I'm a little uncomfortable because I'm on a date with him. I want to get to know him, but he's obsessed with guys that I've been with. It's weird. It just felt gossipy and rude and awkward. I just didn't feel great.
Okay.
And then he tells me that he's not shown up on a lot of dates. Like he stood a lot of women up.
Okay.
Do you think that's why he was late? Maybe he was just poking in through the window looking at you first?
This is what, and this is when it started to kind of all come together. And then this is what he says he does. He says that he shows up late so that he can check her out and decide if she's hot enough for him. This is what he told me on the first day. So he's pretty much telling me that he just arrived late to check me out.
If he came and sat down with you, though, does that mean that you are hot enough for him?
That's quite
exactly.
Right.
And because he said that he doesn't go in if he doesn't think the woman is hot enough for him, that he just leaves her there. He doesn't text, he doesn't call, he doesn't say anything to them. So and the way he said it, It was like I should be flattered. He was looking at me like I should be flattered.
He thought
see.
he was complimenting you. He thought he was letting you know, hey,
Exactly.
I don't sit down with every girl that I'm supposed to go out on a date with.
Yeah.
Only the ones that I think are hot enough. And here I sit with you, you lucky lady, you.
But as far as the checkout move is concerned, that's not new. I mean, that's almost standard operating procedure for a lot of guys.
Goes all the way back to when Harry met Sal. No, You've Got Mail. Goes all the way back to You've Got Mail. Remember when Tom Hanks showed up and Meg Ryan was sitting in the little coffee shop and he realized, he's like, oh my God, is she pretty? Yeah, he was there with his friend. Oh my God, is she pretty? Is she cute?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, she's cute, all right. Mm-hmm. And then when he was checking her out.
Sure. Now, it's rude to just not show up if
Yes.
you decided this person isn't attractive enough for you. But I think everybody kind of does that. Don't they do a little spying before they actually
And
sit
don't you
down?
usually stalk someone before you even decide to meet them in person anyway? Like usually on
Well,
social and
Pictures
stuff?
lie, though.
Pictures, yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
Okay. So he leads with that, which in your mind is not a great first impression.
okay.
It's weird, right?
I don't know that it's that weird.
Really?
Maybe
Okay.
it's just, is it weird that he admitted that he
Yes.
does it?
Yes.
And that he was
Yes.
trying to use it as,
Yeah, I think it's
You
weird that he
know,
led with that.
he's like, hey, I hope you know you're hot enough for me.
Kind of tacky. I
Yeah.
guess you could argue. Right. Okay.
It just didn't feel cool. It just felt kind of sleazy.
Okay.
And yeah, so I stayed there longer than I probably should have. I was drinking a lot in a short period of time. I mean, the check was on him, so why not? I needed to slow down, so I just, hung out there longer. And it was pretty fascinating, all the BS that he was just spitting out. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, listen, we got him on the line. If you're a fan of the show, you know how Second Date Update works. He's quietly listening to you speak, and now we're going to give him a chance to respond. Corey?
Well, firstly, I just want to say none of it was BS. I mean, you might not have liked it, but that was just me being open and honest with you. And yeah, you should take that as a compliment. If I sat down with you in the first place and I wanted to spend more time with you, then yeah, you should take that as a compliment. And I think that you found me just as attractive, and I don't think that you need to lie about it for their benefit.
Oh.
Well, looks aren't everything, babe. That's what I'll say.
I love it when hot people say, looks aren't everything.
Well, they're not.
No, I know they're not. It's just always, it's funny just hearing that come from really hot people
Yeah.
that never
I
have
like
to worry
your
about that.
personality.
Yeah. So after he told you that you passed the test and you're hot enough for him, what was the conversation like after that? I mean, was the entire did he give off that same vibe the entire time you were there with him, or did it get a little more comfortable for you?
I mean, when you are sitting across from someone, smiling and nodding and sipping on a drink and just choosing not to engage with weird behavior, it can seem like we were connecting. And we did laugh a bit. But the conversation that went forth past that moment was still very weird. It just felt like you were shopping and telling me all the things that you think I need to be with you.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
That's a
On
weird
top
vibe.
of telling me that you just showed up because I was hot and that I should be thankful that you even came to the date and didn't ignore me and not call and not text.
See, I just don't think that's weird that early on. I think that's what you do. You kind of share what works and what doesn't. And I was just open with you, kind of cutting through the BS and saying, you stack up to that. You meet that.
Is that when you've been out on other dates where you've decided that the woman is attractive enough for you to date, do you always tell them, how you oftentimes bail on people? I mean, is that what you always do?
Well, honestly, it doesn't happen that often. I mean, just in my experience, Deidre, kind of like you said, it's not all about looks. Like, there's so many reasons that I don't connect with somebody. So when I connected with you, I was just like, cool, I can be my true self and just tell you kind of how I navigate this whole thing. So,
But if it's not about looks, then why would you leave a date after showing up 15 minutes late to make sure that the person was hot enough for you? And then why would you not communicate?
a lot of
them?
times it's because they weren't honest about who they were in the first place. You show up and you see a totally different person. They're taking the photos to make it flattering. Like, I'm just out there. I'm just this is me.
It does seem like a lot of people are using filters for profile pictures, even on social media, non-dating sites.
Yeah.
Like filters that aren't even remotely realistic looking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not on any dating sites, but I'm on social media enough that I've decided I'm just going to only post the worst pictures of me.
There you go.
So when people meet me, maybe I look a little bit better than what they thought
started
they
to
were
change.
going to.
Pleasantly surprised.
Yeah,
Graduate.
exactly. So let me show you my worst.
Well, I can tell you, with our Airbnb business, we do not approve anybody who has a Snapchat rabbit face as part of their
I
profile
never have
pic.
understood the rabbit face
Yep,
thing.
not doing it. You have whiskers. Not happening.
That's
That's
funny.
my dating policy too.
Yeah, you have a point. I can see that. I can see that now that you've explained it to me.
So is there any chance, based on this conversation, I know it's slim, I'm just putting it out there, if you guys would be willing to go out on a second date, we'd pay for it.
Well, I'll be honest.
Oh.
I didn't wake up today expecting this phone call. But what I will say, Corey, after hearing you explain, and you do have some points, I'd be open. I'd be open to a second date. I think I was taken aback by the immediate conversation about looks, but I would like to have a deeper conversation about that.
Oh, I like that.
I did not see that coming.
I would
Yeah,
like to
that's
have
a
a deeper
turn.
conversation
How
about
very
that.
adult of both
Yeah.
of you.
Wow.
Well, yeah, and I'll say, just hearing it from your side, like I see how it comes off. Like I hate guys like the guy you've just described, and that was me. So like obviously there's things that I should do kind of better to get to know somebody, not have so many outs, But I do have a question. How was the hand kiss? Was that
Oh, yeah, I was wondering that, too.
I was gonna say my one condition is that just don't kiss my hand. It was weird.
Well, so what was the
noted.
spirit of that kiss, though, Corey? Were you trying to be like chivalrous and traditional, like old school?
I didn't
As a way of
bow,
honoring her?
Like I wanted it to be a more kind of just light throwaway alternative to trying to kiss her. I didn't do the milady thing and bend down.
It felt like that.
Yeah.
It felt like you saw it on Princess Bride, and then you came to the date and then tried to perform a hand kiss, and it was a little awkward.
I
Maybe a hug.
do love
a
that
hug
movie.
is perfect. I know, it's great.
Okay. Good to know.
All right. We got
Wow.
the ground rules laid out.
Cool.
We're going to have a deeper conversation.
With no hand kissing.
Zero hand kissing.
All right.
I love it. We'll set this up with Corey since he made the call. But Deidre, thank you so much for coming on the Jeff and Jen Morning Show and having this conversation with us.
Thank you, Jeff and Jen.
It was very nice talking to you. And Corey, we're going to put you on hold. Best of luck to you both. Stay in touch.
Thank you.
too.
All right. If you need our help with the second date update, send us an email, Jeff and Jen at WKRQ.com.
All right, coming up, your shot at $1,000. It's called the 1K letter of the day. And we're going to do it next. Q102.
Thanks for